Alrighty, I've wanted to make this video for a long time. I'd say almost a year. So this video doesn't. The only really big idea for this video is to potentially help people who may be struggling, and maybe give some light to the community so the community could be less toxic, I guess. I mean, I don't know where to really start. I kind of was rethinking a few ideas of what I could say for the video, but I just kind of forgotten most of them, as I always do whenever I decide to put on that recording button. But I don't know, I guess, we're coming to another year. It's been a crazy year with the community since I've been involved in it. A lot of people have left. Not as many new people have joined the community compared to in 2020. And I mean, I've learned a lot in the past year. And maybe if I share it, it might help someone. And I've as I said before, I've wanted to make a video about me telling about what I've learned while I've been on the internet for the past 2 years, which is not that long. Maybe no, it was 2. And just learning important things like forgiveness, gratitude, and kindness, and how that's better than being selfish, greedy, and arrogant. And one thing that about the bionicle community is different from the other communities. If you take all of what the average preteen who thinks bionicle is a big thing about competition with who gets the most subscribers, who makes the best mocks and stuff like that, we're really bonded closely with the content we make and how we make it. And we're just a small community, so everything gets around quicker, kind of. And it's Bond community is truly different from all types of communities. Shoot, where is it going with this? Oh, I don't remember where I was going with this. Jeez, I'm a little hot right now. Just I guess it's just in the nature of being in the community that you're always trying to be the best. This is the average person. And to the person that says, "Well, that's not me," if it's not you, then try to look at yourself if you did it that way. How would you fix it? How would you approach it? 'Cause even if you haven't done that before, maybe you could help someone out who has a problem, a problem, But the bionicle community, we're always trying to make good mocks, and we're always comparing our stuff to whatever somebody else has, how big our collection is, how many mocks we have, how many sets we have, how good our stop motion is. It's just that constant cycle of comparing and needless competition that's more or less demoralizing. And I think that's where like a lot of the toxicity in the community kind of originated from. I mean, everyone's toxic in some way or another. Um the best we could do is just address it to ourselves and try to work on it. It's good to be human. We humans aren't perfect. The only human who was perfect, look what we did to him. We whipped his back and put him on a cross. It's just maybe I hope like people are getting, images in their head of like maybe certain experiences they've had where they've done stuff like this, and they can see that they've done it. Because I feel like the best thing you can do if you've ever been someone who's toxic is see what you've done, and don't cry about it, but try to fix it. And it's not going to happen in one day or overnight. It's going to take time. I know that's like an overused term, but literally time heals everything. It does. And it's just if we have the constant strive to do better, but not be better than anyone else and not compare ourselves, I think you lived a pretty damn good life. I mean, we're all going to have times where we trip up and we do things like comparing ourselves. But the best thing we can do is pull ourselves back and be like, "Oh, bad. No. Don't do that." Not like abuse ourselves, or and yell at ourselves, but like just kind of be like, "Hey, man, don't do that. Let's see what we can do better." So yeah, and the people who have like friend groups, which is a very large, relatively large thing in the community, and just being a friend in general, I've learned this like in the past year. You're gonna let your friends down, and they're not gonna be okay with it. But you gotta be okay with yourself, because you're going to get an onslaught of lectures most likely and stuff, which is good and bad in a sense. But you also you gotta remind yourself that your friends might let you down. No, not might, they are gonna let you down at some point too. And you gotta forgive them. You don't have to be better than them and not lecture them, but you have to be kind to them. A big thing is that we don't see as, like, human beings is we don't know what's going on in other people's life. Maybe they have, like, a dad problem or a mom problem. Maybe, like, one of their parents is an alcoholic and they're getting abused. We do not know. We do not know. But instead of being enemies with them, we could, like, reach a hand out. And maybe they need you, and maybe you need them. You just never know. And we just assume that they're a bad person, because it's so much easier to make enemies than friends, which is the horrible truth. Just kindness. Kindness is the one thing that the world needs to be better. It's just so crazy, like, the world we live in. Like, even on, like, the news, politics, people in general. People have changed drastically in the last 2 years. And, like, it's crazy. we all try to make our opinion or something be like the right one, and instead of understanding the other side, you know, like that. And that's not, I mean, immediately the average most sane person would immediately go, oh, you're talking about politics. No, like, you might be assuming that the person is a bad person, but once you understand everything that's going on, you know, they aren't really. I don't know. Just everything in with as time moves on, everything that you viewed as a child definitely changes. But because there's also like there will of course be the rude awakenings, but I feel like a lot of the people who are new to the bionicle community and then coming into COVID, who, you know, they had their IRL friends and they were normal before all this COVID stuff happened, where we were isolated, and then like we go online and we started talking to we isolated people started talking to other isolated people. How does that make any sense? I mean, it's kind of true though. We're isolated people who are talking to also isolated people. And it's not just being isolated from the world, but well, yeah, it is being isolated from the world. You know, like maybe some of us don't talk to our IRL friends that much. I know a lot of my IRL friends, we don't talk that much anymore. And it's weird, what's going on in the world. But I guess, the only thing we can do for the best is try to be kind, understanding, and break through. Maybe figure out new ways to make conversation, you know? And when it comes to people who don't have many friends and, aren't necessarily the best at making friends, and they want people who have the same interests as them, when everyone in your world is the same, it's not interesting. It's good to have things in common, but if someone's super different from you, you could learn something from them. That's good. And maybe they could learn something from you. We just need to open up. I know a lot of people, especially, people who consider themselves introverted, just wish we could do that by the snap of our fingers. But something's holding them inside. And what I say to those people, and I'm definitely one of those people, unquestionably, you gotta remind yourself who's boss. And that's you, not the little freaking voices in your head that are very, very unhealthy to listen to. But you gotta, remind who's boss. And make a stand. For the better. Yeah. I don't know what else I could talk about. I think I went over most of the stuff I wanted to talk about. I mean, a lot of the people who probably watch this video are, YouTubers, biotubers. Well, what have you guys learned in the last year that's been good? Maybe there's somebody that is subscribed to your channel that you could make a video like this for. And that might help them, And then one thing that's beyond important. I do not know why my microphone. The microphone I'm using right now is also broken. But like one thing that's really, really important that a lot of people like who generally use the internet, they don't address their IRL problems, which are the most important problems and are the ones that immediately need to be taken care of. If there's online drama going on and you have bad grades, your grades are in school are more important. Everybody hates school. Like the work involved in school. Trust me. I know a lot of people who hate school, even the ones who are straight A students. They hate it. And it's just, you gotta do it. It's gonna be your future. You're gonna be the future of the country that you live in. And you gotta be the best you can be. The future sucks. Trust me, it does. And, like, we all want to be kids forever. Like, teenagers. Sitting in our rooms, either playing video games or building bionicles or making stop motions or... my biggest problem, making music and playing guitar. You know, and other things like that. But wherever we live, we're the future of that place. And if we isolate ourselves and limit ourselves to doing, it's good to have, hobbies and stuff, but it's bad when you limit that to be the only thing that you do, because there's so much that the world has to offer. And like there's so many cool jobs out there that some people like don't even think about, like, maybe doing something cool like plumbing, maybe being an electrician, The world's just so much bigger than the room and the screen that we look into every day. And it's, it's really hurtful to say this, but you need to have IRL relationships, because quite frankly, online relationships, and I'm sorry that I have to say this, but online relationships aren't real. You can't see the person. You might have never even seen them in real life. Because getting to know someone takes a lot more than just words. It takes action. And, because actions speak louder than words. And we just all limit ourselves to, like, so little. I don't know. The best we can do is be kind to people. To, that kid who sitting alone at a table, To that kid getting bullied online or maybe even being toxic. Maybe he's having some hard problems. One thing I want to say to some of the people who do have those problems, don't drain the generous people. Because they're there for you, but there's going to be a time where you're going to have to be there for them. And you gotta return the favor somehow. But don't keep pushing when they tell you no. Just, once you get 3 no's, you back off. That's one of the hardest things that I've been trying to do, is when I get told no 3 times, leave it alone. Or even once. Wicked hard to do. No, it's just crazy, you know. I'd like to view everyone, like, and myself, that we're all kids, but with the weird world that we live in, we're going to have to grow up fast one way or another, whether we like it or not. We can still enjoy life, but we just have to address things more maturely. Not sternly. In my opinion, being mature is being kind. Not being, you did something wrong, now get out of my house and never come back. I don't know. Only time will tell. I don't even know if anyone will sit through this entire video that's like 20 minutes long. And yeah, I don't know. I hope somebody gets something out of this video if I've made any sense. I know whenever I record a video, I always zone out. It's always been a nasty, I assume it's a habit, but I don't know how to shake the habit. So it's always been a problem. Even like before I kind of went on my hiatus / leave, I'd always zone out whenever I record a video because I don't remember most of the times I've recorded a video because I zone out like very bad. But I don't know. I hope this helps someone. I hope that one day, like, you know, a lot of people can be happy, I guess. It's hard, it takes time, not everyone will be happy. But just try to make yourself happy. And another thing, this is definitely something that kind of sucks. And I try to help people as best I can. But you're not going to find happiness just by helping someone become happy. You got to figure out a way to make yourself happy too. Whether that be playing with bionicles. But again, you can't be comparing yourself. That's what drags you down. Alright. I think I'm going to end this transmission. I hope my mic hasn't, like, ear raped at a few points. So, thank you guys. Yeah, just, I'm literally just, like, praying to God that this does help somebody. Because life is fair and it makes it unfair for everyone else. So, yeah. Kudos, guys.